talk about problems today and the best angle to approach them. And I think this could really shift your mindset about what problems really mean, so that when problems come up, big or small, you know how to handle them like the best leaders, the best CEOs, the best parents, the best sales professionals, or whoever. And I had a realization a couple of years ago that any business that doesn't have any problems isn't a business at all. My most successful years as a business owner, I had the most problems to deal with, but the most success came out of that as well. And here's the reality. Here's how problems come up. It's when something doesn't match your expectation, or someone violates a rule you have or a standard that you have. And most people try and avoid problems or ignore them, but what happens is the problem gets even bigger and people start to blame. And there's a couple things you could blame. Either the event, or you tell yourself a story about why it happened. Instead of solving it, you focus on blaming. Also, someone who's not there. Sometimes people blame people that aren't there, and that doesn't really help either. And lastly, they blame themselves, which sometimes is okay, sometimes it's not. But the reality is, the reason why blaming never helps is because it's in the past, you can't control it, and it really creates no progress at all. And sometimes it makes you feel like crap and perform at an even lower level. And sometimes it causes you not to take any action at all. So you want to make sure you focus on solving problems at a high level and understanding that problems are a part of life. Really, leaders solve problems because they'll always come up, and the bigger the problem, the bigger the leader. Think about the CEO of Apple's problems, or the CEO of Google or Walmart. Their problems are probably a little bit bigger than you and I's problems, right? But remember, more risk equals more rewards. Now, in order to really want a solution, you have to be able to change. And problems are life. Life always has problems, but realize that the mediocre or the followers, they react and they blame. But real leaders understand that without problems, they can't grow. So the only people without problems that you have to realize are the people in cemeteries. Problems are a part of life and business. So let me give you 3 simple strategies on how to solve problems and how to really be expressing leadership abilities at the highest level when problems occur, because that's really what I know you want to be, is the best leader you possibly can. So number 1, attack the problems right away. So right when you have a problem in your business, relationship, whatever it is, attack it right away. Don't hide from it. Don't avoid it. Just show maturity and real leadership by amending the errors right away. Because what happens if you don't solve that problem is it'll affect every other area of your life and business. So if you have an unsolved problem, or it's kind of still eating at you, it'll affect how you handle everything else, and you won't be able to fully give your all because of that problem. So solve it right away. Focus on solutions. So immediately when you have a problem, focus on 2 solutions. And you can also find somebody who's gone through a similar problem than you, and they can tell you how they handled it, so you have a different perspective. Sometimes a new perspective is good on a problem. But this really changed my business a couple of years ago. I had a pretty big staff, and of course, when you're the leader, you get all the problems, right? The problems rise to the top. And I told them, I said, hey, from now on, when you have a problem come up in the office or whatever, bring me 2 solutions. Now, this totally changed how they treated themselves and their role as a leader. So they started coming up with solutions. They'd say, Peter, here's the problems, but I already have solutions for it. And I'm like, wow, that's great. That's very impressive. So that really helped them become more independent. And if you create independent leaders and you teach them leadership, they will rise to the occasion, and it'll help your business. Because controlling everything and growing a business doesn't really go together. You got to influence other people, not just control, and teach people how to think. Number 3, you got to tell yourself, this too shall pass. This was one of the biggest perspectives I've ever learned that's helped my peace of mind and helped my success. Is sometimes all that can solve a problem and all the things that you could do to find solutions and even the tougher problems, you still feel down and it still affects you. Maybe a death in the family or a loss of a job or you're struggling financially. Those are tough times, right? But you got to tell yourself, this too shall pass. And with time, you'll get over this and you'll become wiser because of this problem. But telling yourself that you'll get past it is something that I think is important to understand as a leader. So let me review these. Number one, attack the problem right away so it doesn't hurt every other area of your business or life. Number two is focus on two solutions. Whenever you have a problem, focus on two solutions because that'll focus your mind away from the issue at hand and onto finding a solution to the issue. And also make sure you reach out to people who have already experienced that type of problem so they can help you cut your learning curve in half solving it. And number three, tell yourself this too shall pass. No matter what you go through, you're tough enough to get past it. And if you remind yourself that it'll be a learning experience later and you'll grow from it, you'll be okay. So hope this helps, and we'll talk to you soon.